Hey y'all, welcome back to my kitchen. I'm Jacqueline and this is Lowcarblish, the channel where we make low carb versions of our favorite high carb foods, try to control our blood sugars and reverse type 2 diabetes. If you're new here, welcome. If you're not new here, welcome back. Today we're going to be doing two different sauces. Last week I made the viral noodle recipe and they turned out fabulous, and I'll leave a link up here or down in the description for you guys to that video. Today we're going to be making two different sauces that you can put over your noodles or keto rice, whatever. And one of them is pesto, and we're going to do that one first. And then the second one is going to be a beef sauce that I'm making out. I made some stew beef yesterday, so I'm going to turn that into a beef sauce that I can put over noodles and my keto rice. I also will put the recipe to my keto sticky rice down below too, just in case you want to use the beef or the pesto over that. So if you've never made pesto before, it is really easy to do. You are going to be using spinach. We're making spinach pesto today. A lot of people use basil, and this recipe is very versatile. So you can use spinach, basil, arugula, any kind of green that you like, you can make pesto out of. I've just got a good bit of fresh spinach in my refrigerator, so I decided to make a spinach pesto today. And don't worry about the amounts. I'll have everything down in the description below for you. We're going to be using, I've got 4 cups of fresh spinach here, and we're going to blanch this. And the reason that I blanch it is because if you've made pesto in the past, then you know that sometimes within a half an hour to an hour it turns like a brown color, and when you blanch the spinach it takes care of that problem and it stays a nice pretty green. So I'm just going to blanch it real quick. I've got my water starting over here, and so we'll be doing that in just a minute. We're going to have a teaspoon of basil, dried basil flakes. I've got 3 tablespoons of grated Parmesan cheese that are going to be going in, salt and pepper. I've got a teaspoon of minced jarred garlic, but you can absolutely use fresh if you want to. I would use like maybe 1 to 2 cloves at the most. The minced is good for me because it stays fresh in the oil and it's easy, so that's what I use. I've got 1/4 of a cup of walnuts and 1/4 of a cup of pine nuts. And I like the mixture of these, but you can use all pine nuts or all walnuts, whatever you want to do. And then we've got a little bit of lemon juice here. I think it's about a tablespoon of lemon juice and 1/2 cup of olive oil. And that's all it's going to take. And as soon as I get the spinach blanched, we're going to mix everything up in the blender. And before you know it, you'll have pesto sauce that you can use over your noodles, your rice. Pesto sauce is also really good if you ever want to put it on fish. I like it on salmon, and once in a while I like it on chicken, depending on how the chicken's cooked. So I'm going to go over to the stove. We're going to blanch the spinach, and then we'll get started putting everything in the blender. So I'll be back. Okay y'all, so I'm over at the stove. I've got my 4 cups of spinach here, and my water is just beginning to boil. It's still kind of like at a slow simmer boil, and that's fine. You just need the water to be close to boiling to put your spinach in. And like I said, we're just going to blanch this to keep it green. I'm dropping my leaves everywhere. Got a clean stove. We'll just pop them in and boil them. Alright. One over here too. Okay. And this doesn't take long at all. Like I said, it's just a blanch, and we're just waiting for them to turn that nice bright green color. I love blanching greens. It just brings out such pretty color, and it just brightens up the dish. And for this particular dish, it's really helpful just because it keeps it from turning that brown color when it comes out. So let me put this back over here. And I've got my little strainer inside my bowl here just so I can strain it here at the stove so you guys can see it. And that's it. And you don't really have to worry about getting it like super dry. If it's still a little damp after you strain it, it's fine. It's going to be fine. Almost there. love. Thank you for being a good girl. Thank you so much for being a good girl. Okay, y'all, so the spinach is blanched. And I'm just going to pull it out of here and put it in my strainer. And then once I get through straining this water off of it, I'm going to run it under cold water. And then we'll put it in the blender. Sorry for making noise, y'all. Okay. Put that off the heat here. I'm going to run this under the sink, put the camera back over at our workstation, and I'll be right back. Okay, y'all, so we're ready to make some pesto here. I'm just going to take the lid off of our blender. And I like to put the nuts in first and just zhuzh them up a little bit just to make sure that they get mixed up and chopped a little more finely than they come out of the package. This is optional though. If you prefer yours to be a little chunkier, then just skip this step. All right. And that's it. And then take this off. I'm gonna add in my spinach. Okay, and then we're just going to put all the rest of the ingredients in except for the olive oil. Get my little garlic in there. And y'all, if you prefer more garlic, you can absolutely go for it. If you don't like garlic, you can leave it out. This is a good amount for me, but all of my recipes are flexible and you can make them your own. And that's what makes it so much fun. Uh-oh, I'm going to put my little salt and pepper in here. And that was actually my basil. This is my salt and pepper. And then I'm going to blend this up a little bit, and then I'm going to put the lemon juice in. And then we'll slowly add the olive oil. So I'm just going to blend it on low and just kind of pulse it. So, for some reason, I'm not moving around here. Let me see what's happening. Maybe if I add the lemon juice, that'll help it move. Alright, let's try again. There we go. Scrape down the sides because I'm trying to get everything incorporated before I start putting the olive oil in as best I can. And also, when you guys are making this, I like mine to be kind of smooth. Some people like it a little chunkier, I guess is the word. And so you do you, boo-boo, whatever you like. You go for that. Now let me put this on low here. Okay, so now I'm going to take the top off of the blender here, and I'm going to turn the blender back on and then just drizzle the oil in here until it's all mixed together, still on low doing that. And we're done, guys. That's it. So let me get a little bowl to put this in so you can see, and then we'll get started on the beef one. I'll be right back. Okay, so now we're just going to take it out of the blender, pour it into our bowl here, and I'll let you guys see. It just pours right out, and this is so tasty, and it's light, you guys. It's low carb. The calories are not bad at all, and like I said, it makes a great topping if you want to do pasta or your keto rice or even fish and chicken. It goes well on them. So I hope you guys will try it and like it, because it's an easy sauce. And if you don't use all this like me, I'm not going to use all of this. But you can freeze this. So you can put it in different containers and freeze it. And it'll keep for like a week in your refrigerator. And then when you freeze it, you can freeze it 3 or 4 months and it'll be fine. And some people even put it in like ice cube trays and just take out little, 2 or 3 cubes at a time. I usually just put mine in a smaller container, but you've got options. So I'm gonna put this up here, and then I'm gonna get you an up close picture of it so you can see what it looks like, and then we'll get started on the beef noodle one. And here's the close-up of the pesto, just so you can get an idea of what it's supposed to look like. And like I said, you using the blanching technique will keep it a really pretty green color for you. Okay, y'all, so I'm back and we're going to do the beef sauce now. This is just some stew beef that I cooked up yesterday, and it's cold right now, but it's really tender, and I'm going to break it up with the forks. If you would prefer your beef to be chunkier, then just leave it like this. I just like it to be a little smaller when I'm putting it in a sauce gravy type deal. And since I'm going to be using this to put over noodles or rice or whatever, I just want my pieces to be smaller. But as I say, you do you, honey. So let me get this stuff broken up. I've got my drippings from my meat in my pan here. And I had about 1/2 cup left over of the drippings. So I added 1.5 cups of chicken stock to it. You can use beef stock if you want to. I just prefer the flavor profile with the chicken and the stew meat. It's just not quite as strong to me, and I just enjoy the flavor more. But you can use beef stock, you can use vegetable stock, whatever you've got on hand that you like will work in this recipe. And so while my liquid is heating up over here, I'm just going to take this beef and pull it apart. Kind of like pulled pork, but pulled beef. And I love the way stew meat gets softer when you cook it. I cooked this for about 2 hours yesterday, and I always sear it in the pan first on both sides, anywhere from like 3 to 5 minutes per side, depending on the size of the stew meat that you're working with, and get a good sear on it. And then I put it in a pan with some chicken stock and cook it, and I'll cover it and cook it. I'll bring it to a boil, and then I turn the heat down to where it's still boiling, but it's a rolling simmer, and just cook it like that for 2 hours, and then it gets really soft and tender. And so that's what I'm going to use in my stuff today. So we've got our beef pulled apart here. Let's set those off to the side. And I've still got a lot of spices in here from the stock that I cooked the beef in. I've got garlic and onion powder, and I put some rosemary in it too. So today, because that stuff's already in here, I'm just going to add some cream and some coriander. But if you're starting from scratch and you don't have stock with your beef, or if you just want to make this without the beef and just starting from like beef broth or chicken broth or whatever, then go ahead and add the spices that you enjoy, and you'll be good to go. But because mine are already in here, I'm just going to add a little bit here. So it's getting pretty hot, so I'm going to put some coriander in here. And I like coriander, so I'm probably putting, I'm going to guess, about 1/4 teaspoon. It doesn't come out of the jar very easily, but I really enjoy that spice, so that's what I'm going to use. And then stir that up just a little bit. And I've got a little over 1/4 teaspoon of glucomannan powder here. You can use xanthan gum or whatever you've got to thicken yours up. I've got the glucomannan and I like it, so that's what I'm going to be using here. And I'm just going to put that in. I'm going to let this continue to heat up and thicken a little bit. And I may add a little black pepper to this because I enjoy black pepper, but I definitely don't need any more salt in this. So I'm going to let this cook for a couple minutes and thicken up a little bit, and then I'll be back and we'll add the cream to it and the beef, and then we'll do a taste test. And I'll be back in just a few. Okay, y'all, we're back. I ended up having to put another quarter of a teaspoon of the glucomannan in here, so it took a half a teaspoon for it to start thickening up like I want it to do. So it's starting to thicken up now, and I'm going to add, I've got 2 tablespoons of heavy whipping cream here that I'm going to add to the sauce. And then I'm going to let this thicken up just a little bit more, and we're going to put the beef in. And y'all, I don't know how many of y'all grew up eating beef and gravy over noodles and or rice, but my mom used to make it a lot when I was growing up, and it's a comfort food, and I'm so grateful that we've got options to make the gravy part of the dish and the pasta and the rice part of the dish for that matter. And it's just one of those things that reminds me of my childhood, and I enjoy eating it. Alright, so got the cream in, and I'm still waiting for it to thicken up just a little. I'm going to go ahead and put the beef in, and I've got it cooking over just a touch over medium heat. And I'm using my cast iron skillet, but you can use any pan you've got that'll work. You don't have to have cast iron. I had a lady email me and ask me if some of the dishes I make in the cast iron, if she has to have cast iron, and you absolutely do not. You can use non-stick, stainless steel, whatever you've got that you enjoy cooking with. This was my grandma's pan that she passed down to my mom, and my mom passed it down to me, and I really enjoy cooking in it, and it's a good size for me. So I'm going to let this continue to thicken up a little bit. I'm going to clean these dishes up while that's doing, and when we come back we'll be over at the workstation and we'll do a yummy little taste test. I'll be back in a minute. Okay, y'all, so it's been about 10 minutes, and the beef sauce with the beef in it has thickened up, and I just wanted to let you see a close-up of it before we have a taste test. So I'll be back in just a second. We'll be tasting both of these yumminess. Okay, y'all, time for the taste test. It's still pretty hot though, so I'm gonna be careful because I don't want to burn my mouth off. You guys, that is really, really good. If you want to make your broth a little bit thicker than mine, then just cook it a little bit longer, or if you can take the taste of the glucomannan, just add a little more glucomannan to it. But it's going to be good no matter what you put over. You could do this over noodles, keto sticky rice. You could do it over keto low carb bread. You could do it over the kohlrabi hash browns that we make sometimes. All of that is going to be delicious with this. So let's give this one a taste. Also very good. Wow. If you've never tried pesto, I would encourage you to give this recipe a try. I didn't try it until I was like, I guess 45 or so, and I was surprised how much I really enjoy it. I like this over low carb noodles. I like this over salmon. I like this over chicken. And I think I already told y'all all of that, so sorry about that. But anyway, it is good over several different things, and some people even like it with salad. So give it a try, you might like it. And so today is Motivational Monday, and today's motivational quote is, "We rise by lifting others." So go out today and help someone, do something kind for somebody, help somebody that needs a little hand, and you'll be amazed how it makes you feel and rises you up. If you like the content that you see here, I would really appreciate it if you hit that little like button for me. It really does help people find my channel that have just been diagnosed and are looking for help. If you're not subscribed, I would really appreciate it if you would consider subscribing. Try it out. If you don't like it, you can unsubscribe, but I hope that you'll like it. And if you do subscribe, hit the little notification bell, and you'll never miss another recipe, giveaway, or just fun times that we're having on this channel. I love you guys so much. I appreciate you hanging out with me and supporting me. Macy's around here somewhere. She says hi too. So you guys take care, and I'll see you next time. Love you much. Bye.